2018 Mazda CX-5 SUV review. The good points of Mazda CX-5 SUV. Distinctive styling in and out. Tons of ordinary equipment. Increased refinement levels. Agile handling to have an SUV. Very competitive list prices. The bad points of Mazda CX-5 SUV. Official CO2 figures about the high side. Petrol engine needs to be worked hard. Steering are often more precise. Quality lacking inside entry-level cars. What's new with the Mazda CX-5? On the top at least it would appear little. The styling features a more mature look, plus the interior is rearranged for better ergonomics. The platform underpinning the vehicle is 50% new, along with the engines happen to be carried over from before. You have a 2.0-liter petrol or possibly a 2.2-liter diesel with either 150 horsepower or 175 horsepower. Most important, however, are definitely the changes under its skin. Mazda has packed the brand new CX-5 with soundproofing to help make it quieter for the move, and it's built with a profound effect. This model is actually much more pleasant to ride in. Good handling and improved equipment. Like all Mazdas, the CX-5 is usually a surprisingly agile handler, as good as most rivals and also on a par with many smaller hatchback models. As well as being a stiffer body, this CX-5 gains advantage from the rather wordy vectoring control, that helps tighten up the automobile's handling further. The previous model had begun to fall behind within the equipment stakes though, which means this new CX-5 packs in lots of contemporary tech, being a powered tailgate, new head-up display and heated tire. Even the entry-level models include tons of normal kit. So whichever version you select, you're prone to get just about all the kit you might want, and never have to head towards the options list and pay more. The verdict. We ran one as being a long-termer for 6 months. Observe how we got on. The Mazda CX-5 SUV faces a tricky challenge in tearing buyers from the likes of established off-roaders such as the Ford Kuga, Kia Sportage and Volkswagen Tiguan. Mazda hopes that this combination of angular KODO styling and Skyactiv fuel-saving tech, as well as a raft of normal high-end kit, will likely be enough to acquire drivers' attention. The second-generation CX-5 begins where the previous car left off by providing sharp handling to the class, but this car offers much greater refinement, turning it into feel a lot more upmarket. Mazda CX-5 review, why it deserves your attention. 1 petrol and 2 diesels available. Choose from 150 horsepower and 175 horsepower diesels. Manual, auto, 2 and all-wheel drive available. The engine lineup features a 2.0-liter petrol and a couple of 2.2-liter diesels. These are unchanged in the previous car apart from clever new tech and lessening noise within the diesels. A word of advice: in order to avoid confusion when going to a Mazda showroom, the firm don't refers towards the engines by their capacities in liters, instead simply employing their power figures in PS, much like HP. Petrol engine. There's just one choice here, and it's a Skyactiv 165 PS. 2.0-liter motor, with two-wheel drive along with a manual gearbox. As heartening as it's to see a non-turbocharged petrol engine still available for sale, actually it feels from its step inside a large SUV, specifically if you encounter any type of hill. As such, 0.62 miles per hour takes 10.4 seconds and progress uphill is leisurely. If you're originating from a diesel or turbocharged petrol SUV, Having less punch at low and middling engine speeds with this version will probably feel quite alien. It has to be difficult to unlock its performance. Even then, this can be far from a simple car. Having to operate the engine not easy to make brisk progress. Could possibly be fine inside a two-seater sports car like Mazda's MX-5, but it's too much of an effort inside a family car including the CX-5. Diesel engines. There are two 2.2-liter options here, and both feel more fitted to the CX-5 as opposed to petrol. Things start with a Skyactiv 150 PS unit, the projected bestseller, and it's provided with both 2- or 4-wheel drive, as well as a manual or automatic gearbox. The front-driven manual could be the fastest of the, taking 9.4 seconds to obtain from 0-62 miles per hour, in addition to being probably the most economical to operate, with claimed economy of 56.5 miles per gallon. While not 1 million miles quicker within the benchmark sprint compared to the more powerful petrol, it will take much less effort thanks to tons of muscle, no matter what engine speed, from its turbocharger. Most powerful of all may be the Skyactiv 175 PS version with the 2.2-liter diesel. It really is all-wheel drive only, however you can pick a manual or automatic gearbox. Again, the manual may be the fastest, racing from 0-62 miles per hour in 9.0 seconds. The difference between this and also the lesser 150 horsepower model may appear small. However, the 175 horsepower model feels considerably quicker in reality while using engine offering a really broad SP watch of power. Gearboxes. Two choices here, manual and automatic, and both consist of 6 speeds. The petrol engine is manual only, even so the diesels can be purchased with either box. The manual frequently occurs Mazda. Reasonably tight and accurate throws using a mechanical believe makes it as pleasing to use than an SUV has to be, especially with the stronger diesel within the bonnet. Impressions with the automatic alternative are great. Shift across into manual mode as well as the lever gets a sequential shifter, downshift by pushing away and upshift by pulling in your direction. It might not appear to be much, but Mazda is one on the few manufacturers that creates this change correctly. Most others have up and down shifts within the opposite direction. That's far less intuitive when about to move. More fun than you'd expect from an SUV. Good steering and high amounts of grip. Slick tech makes CX-5 sharper inside the bends. Driving enjoyment is Mazda's business, and with the most part the CX-5 falls into line together with the manufacturer's current run of satisfying steers. It doesn't deliver quite precisely the same enjoyment because company's smaller hatchback and saloon models, and you wouldn't expect it to. This is often a tall and cozy family crossover, which cannot escape the laws of physics. Innovations this occasion include improved steering and braking as well as a 15% stiffer body, taking into account more comfortable suspension and keep handling ability. Where the CX-5 shines occurs when turning into corners. The Mazda responds neatly to turns on the nicely weighted steering, aided by the modern TOTH's model vectoring control. Don't stress about how this works. Just realize it improves the dexterity with this large SUV, so that it feel more nimble. There's a certain amount of body roll, but it's well controlled, without any wallowing, and mid-corner the CX-5 demonstrates huge and balanced grip levels, especially in AWD models. The heavier 175 horsepower AWD diesel feels weighty around bends but inside a confidence-inspiring manner, and goes wherever you point it, with a lot more precise steering versus the front-wheel drive 150 horsepower version, that's slightly vaguer steering. Put the steering to just one side, plus the front-driven CX-5 feels more agile when powering beyond corners, oddly, where it merely grips and goes. In AWD cars there's hook delay, which you'll want to minimize by pressing the accelerator prior to when normal and leaning on those huge traction levels. Entry-level cell nav models with smaller wheels and much more rubber between new and also the road feel softer as well as the steering less precise. That extra rubber does mean it really is smoother over bumps, though. Sport nav trim makes interior feel a class above rivals. Great hatchback-style driving position adds sporty feel. Distinctive interior is stylish but remains easy to work with. The first Mazda CX-5 boasted a significantly nicer cabin than its mainstream rivals, which has a sport-on driving position and BMW iDrive yapping infotainment system, controlled that has a dial inside central tunnel, as opposed to a distracting touchscreen, much like many rivals. Material quality is nice in all of the places you naturally look or touch, but you can still find some harder plastics in hard-wearing areas. Meanwhile, Sport Nav models feel an amazing rung above cell nav trim, a case in point that it moves the CX-5 from to be a value-oriented Kia Sportage rival to having the capacity to stand alongside the pricey Volkswagen Tiguan. Changes to the new model include silver highlights for the doors and dash, which can be aligned horizontally using the center of the tire, giving the width and the illusion of greater width. Higher spec models gain from attractive wood trim and softer leather padding for the lower dash, but cheaper cars have hard plastic you may bang your knee into. Interestingly, the head-up display is projected into the windscreen as opposed to a piece of plastic, which looks lots nicer. The center console is greater than before, bringing the shift lever more detailed, the wheel itself a different design, along with the two armrests have become at a similar height, and that means you should sit wonkily anymore. As a result, you may adjust the seat to restore feel like you are sat within a tall hatchback, having the laid-back position, rather compared to upright stance needed when driving mini SUVs. Much improved interior refinement. Good ride quality considering road holding. Redesigned seats nearly the longest journey. Here's where Mazda reckons they have made its largest improvements. Period of time, amount of noise, vibration and harshness demonstrated because of the CX-5. The key here ended up being allow all passengers to simply hold a conversation at speed. As such, you receive a thicker windscreen, new door seals, tighter panel gaps and other sound deadening. This cuts down on level of tire and wind noise, the second being the downfall from the last CX-5, and also the result is usually a hushed and comfy cabin, in fitting with Mazda's make an effort to make this model a elderly proposition. There's a little a firm edge towards the ride over really bad surfaces, but within the whole the CX-5 rides perfectly, especially impressive considering its handling prowess. It's similarly strong about the engine noise front. The diesel engines, particularly, are smooth and quiet weight against rivals. Work them hard and you are able to hear the under-bonnet work taking. However, if anything, the somewhat sporty noise adds towards the driving experience as an alternative to detracting as a result. Fantastic seats. Really bolstering enhanced comfort levels include the CX-5's front seats, that are nicely sculpted and provide plenty of support. This obviously helps when driving quickly, and you'll have the benefit even if you're just cruising. The rear seats have likewise undergone a reworking, now offer a reclining mechanism to aid passengers get comfortable, plus there's two air conditioning vents to make sure they're cool. An armrest, which folds away to the middle seat, that is reasonable by sitting in, providing you don't mind straddling the tall center console, hides two USB ports and heated seat controls, determined by specification, obviously. Headroom within the back is fantastic, but legroom is only average. The rear doors open really wide though, so fitting a kid seat is going to be easy. Even entry-level cell nav loaded with kit. Top-spec Sport Nav has everything you could potentially want. All get LED lights, nav and all-around parking sensors. Keeping things simple, allow me to share trim levels called Cell Nav and Sport Nav. Both have SatNav as you'd expect using their company names, including a long list of other desirable kit. Standard Mazda CX-5 SUV equipment. Kicking things off would be the base spec Cell Nav. That's normally top of the middle trim in other Mazda models, and as a result it comes with lots of kit. Externally you have 17-inch alloys, LED headlights including daytime running lights and front fog lights, power folding door mirrors and privacy glass. Inside there exists black cloth seat trim with high adjustable front seats and reclining rear seats, a leather-wrapped controls and gear knob plus auto-dimming rear-view mirror and electronic parking brake. Gadget-wise you find a stop-start system, auto lights and wipers, adaptive high beams, back and front parking sensors, dual-zone climate control, cruise control with speed limiter, SatNav, DAB radio, Bluetooth connectivity, and 7.0-inch color touchscreen having a control dial for that multimedia system. Upgrade to Sport Nav and you receive quite a bit more equipment, including 19-inch alloys, reversing camera, a powered tailgate and leather upholstery. The seats are upgraded to powered items 8-way for the driver's side, 6-way about the passengers along with the front chairs are heated, along with the leader. A head-up display is added, much like traffic sign recognition, keyless entry, plus a premium, 10-speaker Bose surround sound system. Optional Mazda CX-5 SUV extras. Since the top-spec CX-5 is Awachi perfectly equipped, there aren't a huge number of things you may pay to get added, save for metallic paint, some other leather trim, and also a safety pack which we've explained inside the safety section. Finally you can select adaptive cruise control, which now works all of the way down with a standstill. New front-facing camera unlocks security measures. Better adaptive cruise control plus emergency braking. 6 airbags and new LED headlights complete this mixture. Euro NCAP crashed the second-generation CX-5 in 2017, awarding it a complete 5-star rating, with the impressive 95% score for adult occupant protection. The big news here would be the addition of your front-facing camera together with existing radar, to bolster the safety measures offered from the Mazda CX-5. Adaptive cruise control may now work down to your stop while adaptive LED headlights are brighter as opposed to normal and automatically dip in order to avoid dazzling other drivers. Autonomous emergency braking and traffic sign recognition may also be specified for your first time within a CX-5. There's a lane keeping assistant departure warning plus blind spot monitor and rear traffic alert. Other more conventional safety systems include anti-lock brakes, dynamic stability control, traction control and hill start assist, plus 6 airbags. More space for smartphones and an abundance of charging points. Plentiful rear seat storage with neatly hidden USB ports. Larger boot than previous model with 61,620 liters being offered. Inside the vehicle several revisions are actually made to accommodate smartphone and tablet charging. The storage spaces in front with the gear change along with the box underneath the driver's elbow are larger, while aforementioned features a tray to secure your phone above any tins of travel sweets or loose change. There are two 12-volt sockets inside the front including the USB socket and also a pair of cup holders, and also the glove box is actually big enough to install a 10-inch tablet device inside. In the back you obtain 2 reasonably sized door pockets along with an armrest from the 5th seat back that neatly conceals 2 USB sockets and heated seat controls dependent upon specification. Magazine-sized pockets are stitched on the front seat backs. The boot has become larger than before with 506 liters available as much as the cover. It's a usefully square shape. High isn't a great deal of a lip to lift heavy items over, although it's not nearly flushed together with the floor. Fold the seats down and pack the automobile up for the rafters and there may be 1,620 liters of space. A new boot floor and reorganized tool layout means the underfloor storage has grown from 10 to 30 liters, while cargo net hooks are actually added to assist tie things down.